Hey, we're here with Ron and his 1972 Hurst-Olds. Ron, where the heck did you get this thing?
Well, originally it came from Leavenworth, Kansas. I picked this car up approximately 18 years ago. Traded a 1970 Cuda for it, straight across.
Well, I know that these Hurst-Olds are pretty rare. Do you know much history, actually, how Hurst-Olds came about, or?
A little bit. This car actually happens to be one of 220 made like this. It's got most of the options that you could put on these cars. This car originally coming from Oldsmobile was a copy off the 442 body. They then sent that to Hurst, the performance company. Hurst took it over and they added some graphics. They added some details to the motor and some little performance goodies to the motor. They also put a his and her shifter on the inside. It's
well, tell me about that. Most people are not going to know what a his and her shifter is.
It's an automatic, and theoretically what you do is when the woman's driving, she just puts it in drive and cruises around. And
that's the her side, right?
That's the her side.
Okay.
And then for the guy side, you can move a little plate over and you can switch it over and you can shift it manually through the gears and hold it in gear as long as you want and let you feel like you're driving a stick shift a little bit.
And that's the guy side. That's the reason why they call it the his and her shifter.
His and hers, that's it.
And that's something that Hurst came up with, or is that something that Oldsmobile did, or?
I believe that was a Hurst option.
I think you're right, but I'm not sure. I just was checking to see if you knew for sure. I don't know for sure.
I'm pretty sure it was a Hurst option that they put in there.
Now, they also put the sunroof in this car, and what are some, like, they put a special hood and the other things that they did on the car? What are some of the actual options that Hurst did to the car?
They did a little bit more work in the motor. They did some manifold. It's got an aluminum manifold. It's got a little better cam. It came with the Hurst sunroof, which is an electric sunroof. This car also was a pace car for the 1972 Indianapolis 500.
And that's the reason why we see the ND emblem on the side of it.
That's correct. And it came with the big motor, the 455, the special suspension package, and then, of course, the decaling and the graphics on the outside of the car.
In 72, what kind of horsepower was this car producing?
This was 370 horse.
370 horse. So that scoots along pretty good, doesn't it?
It runs real well.
I know that a lot of people don't consider an Oldsmobile really a muscle car, but with these particular cars, they truly were muscle cars, but they were what we'd call a luxury muscle car.
Yes, they were. I can cruise down the street, complete comfort with a little bit of air on, and AM 8-track, AM FM 8-track. The 8-track still works.
Well, that's cool.
Also, if you wanted to get around somebody, that would get around them. It was a pretty good sleeper.
Now, I noticed, Ron, that you live in Lyons, Kansas. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Do you drive this car to the shows, or does it come in a trailer? How do you get around with this car?
I always drive.